Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. My voice has somewhat recovered, so luckily that gives me an opportunity to talk about something that I've been thinking about for the past couple of weeks, and that is the future of Battlefield 2042, because I, as a fan, have a few things I'd like to see going forward. I don't know how feasible they are, but I thought it'd be good to put them together in a video. It's not comprehensive, it's not everything that could be added or should be added in the future, but it's just a few things that I personally, as a player, would love to see as an addition to the game. So, if you do have anything you want to add to the conversation, leave it in the comments below. Chances are I will reply. Anyway, let's head on to my first thought going forward. Not just for Season 4, because we know that Discarded is coming in Season 4 with its rework, but also in Season 5 and beyond, and that is maps. Now, my one issue with the maps of 2042, even though I myself am a fan of them, I've said that many times, but I feel like they're very focused on nature in terms of their layout and design. There's a lot of mountainous terrain, it's all natural. Even inside the Kaleidoscope map in Songdo, South Korea, there's a lot of open space with greenery, grass, and to be honest, the urban sections don't make up the majority of that map. There's a big space of water, a lot of hills, trees, and the rest of the city kind of encapsulates the skybox and the outside map boundaries. This on its own necessarily isn't a bad thing at all. I quite like the look of Kaleidoscope, and similar with Hourglass, even though it is meant to be a city, it's overrun with sand, it fits the 2042 theme, and that city is covered, but it isn't that dense, and that's something that I'd like to see improved in the future. Season 5's map seems pretty promising in this regard. It's got a few little urban areas, it seems to, from the concept art that we've seen, but I'd like to see a couple more maps going forward that take place in cities that are really bustling with urban detail. Streets that you can dart into with different shops and stores and breakable assets all around the map. I'm not sure how feasible that would be in Frostbite, so maybe these expectations are completely unrealistic, but as I said, these are kind of pipe dreams for me in the future. I would love to see more urban maps, because currently in the map rotation, all of them have one thing in common, and that is they're pretty natural in terms of their layout, cover, design, and setting. Alright, let's move on to something else I'd like to see going forward, and that is weapons. Since specialists are no longer being added to the game, maybe some more resources can be put into designing more weapons. We've seen an influx in weapons for Season 4. We've had 4 main weapons for 2042 All Out Warfare, where it's been 2 in Season 1 and then 3 for Season 2 and Season 3, I think it was. We're increasing exponentially in terms of weapons, and if that increases in the next couple of seasons, amazing. That's exactly what I want to see, and the quality of the weapons has also been increasing. Don't get me wrong, the crossbow from Season 1 was a lot of fun to use, but it was more of a meme weapon, and it's not something that I'd run consistently, whereas every single weapon in Season 4 I've been running on and off and switching between them very frequently. Keep this standard up, keep this usefulness up. It's okay to have a bit of a memey fun weapon in between every now and then, and I'd say it's more acceptable to have that now because we get more weapons per season, but I think diverting resources into weapons is a good thing, because we do need more variety, and although the weapon pool is fairly big now, it's a lot of vault weapons that comprise that pool at the minute. So more weapons for 2042 All Out Warfare is a must. Okay, well, let's talk about those vault weapons for a second. What would I like to see for them? Well, for one, I'd love to see some 2042 attachments come over to the vault weapons. So not just sights, but in particular, magazine types. For vault weapons, usually you get 1 or 2 mag types, standard and extended, and that just doesn't really keep it competitive with the 2042 weapons with their different ammo types like subsonic and the heavier rounds and all of the different types. For example, I love running the 416, it's my favourite weapon in the game. That is a bit of a weird take from me, but it is. And I'd love to see some skins for it. Some All Out Warfare skins would be amazing for me to customize it in charms. And also having those magazine types, because its current issue is that you get 1. It's a 30 round mag, you go through it pretty quickly, it's easy enough to work with, but it would be nice to maybe have a drum mag or have an extended mag, even a shorter mag if you want those quicker reload times. Just give the players more agency with what they want to do with vault weapons, and this is something that the team I think is looking into based on their Twitter and their replies, so it'll be interesting to see how that's incorporated. Fingers crossed this gets implemented, because it's the biggest complaint about vault weapons, and I've had people that I play with say that they don't use certain vault weapons even though they want to, because they don't have the 2042 sights or attachments on them. So that is also a big need for me. Let's take a little detour for a second and talk about story, because this is something that's overlooked a lot of the time with 2042, and I'd love to see it expanded on. Sure, we get a lot of Easter eggs, and I'd love to see the community embrace it a little bit more, and I think that further content can help with that. Now that the story has taken a turn and more people are getting invested into it as the Nopats have joined Oz and the US has become an enemy, I think it's become a lot more real. The Nopats feel more grounded because they don't really have a side to go to, especially the Nopats that we're following. And I'd just like to see this kept up, maybe in other Easter egg hunts and events. Keep those voice lines coming, keep those in-game events coming, such as the missile hitting the Nordvik facility. That was awesome. More of that, please. And overall, just keep the story going, not just through player cards, but incorporate it in more creative ways like that. And I'm sure that all of us lore fanatics and story enthusiasts like myself, Comet, everyone else on the NoSalt Discord will be happy. Penultimately, we have squad orders and rewards. Currently, if you order your squad to go defend an objective, they can do so, but you won't get any reward for it like you did in Battlefield 1 or 5. In 5, you'd go and defend an objective that your squad leader has ordered you to, and you'd 1, get squad points, and you'd 2, get more XP for yourself by completing that order. Currently, these are very underutilized in 2042 because they just don't really reward you with anything. Completing these squad orders, as I said, also gave you squad points that you could then use and you get your squad leader to spend on different rewards. For example, you could call in the famous V1 rocket in Battlefield 5. Having an equivalent like that, say like the one that hit the Nordvik facility in the build up to Season 4, would be nuts. Imagine that, being able to call in a strike like that, but just for your squad. Maybe a little bit smaller, I feel like that one would be terrible for balancing, but it would be really cool to see, or just different tank variants, or a smoke barrage like BF5. I don't know, you can get more creative with it with 2042, there's probably a lot more opportunities because of the tech, and just go for it, go wild. It would make squad play a lot better, maybe increase squad size as well, that would be a really cool feature to have, or maybe even party size, just so you can get together with more friends and jump into games with them without having to exclude anyone. And I'm sure everyone asking for more squad interaction will be happy on that front, me included. And finally, more Portal content. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like they've done nothing with Portal, because they've added new hardware, few new weapons, and they've consistently kept up with the community and supported them as we did all the Portal events, and they still continue to do so, bringing different modes into rotation, and the devs promoting our little events and stuff like that to get the word out there and get people playing. I appreciate that, I really do. I find that awesome, but it would be amazing to have more Portal maps, some more guns as well. Keep them coming, keep the hardware coming, or maybe introduce a different game or two, introduce some Battlefield 4 content. I know that that's probably the biggest pipe dream in the whole video. They've said publicly that the porting process for maps and the recreating process for maps is incredibly difficult. I appreciate that, and yeah, it's a pipe dream, but BF4 content, anything like that, BF1 content would be nuts. But I realistically don't see that happening. What I realistically could see happening though is maybe one more map for each era, or a few more vehicles or a few more weapons, and we've seen this happen over the seasons. Just keep that drip feed coming, and if you have the resources, pour it into some more meaningful Portal content, because Portal is such a massive reservoir that is kind of untapped to a certain extent by the community, maybe because they don't know the extent of what you can do with it, but also because the support just is a little bit lacking. So it'd be amazing to have some more Portal content for sure. So there you have it, those are my 6 or so different points of interest in terms of 2042 content and what I'd love to see supported in Season 5 and beyond. Let me know in the comments below if there's any other things you'd love to see added to the game. Let me know in the comments below. Just scream it at me. I'd love to hear your suggestions. And anyway, thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy, you can head over to the NoSalt Discord, come and talk to me and everybody else that loves this game. It's a great place for the community. If you want to check out the story that I mentioned, head over to Comet's Exodus Archives. It's a complete comprehensive guide to the lore and story of 2042. Once again, thank you all for watching. Do please consider subscribing. It helps me out more than you think, and I hope to see you in the next one.